Hello, Honors 10. Welcome to the last lesson of this flipped unit on phrases. Today we're going to talk about appositive phrases, and our goal by the end of the lesson is to identify appositive phrases and distinguish between essential and non-essential appositives. An appositive is a noun or a pronoun that identifies or renames another noun or pronoun. An appositive phrase then consists of that appositive, that noun or pronoun, plus the modifiers for that appositive or noun or pronoun. A couple of tips that are going to be helpful for appositives. An appositive phrase will begin with several things. They begin with a common noun, a proper noun, an adjective including articles such as a, an, or the, a possessive pronoun, and sometimes an adverb. They will not begin with a verb. They also will not begin with a preposition. An appositive phrase is going to end in two ways. Either it's going to end at a punctuation mark, or it will end when it hits a verb. Now, the tougher part with appositives is identifying their type, if they're essential or non-essential. An essential appositive is more specific than the noun or pronoun it renames, and it is not set off by commas to demonstrate that it is needed within the sentence. It is essential. A non-essential appositive is either equally as specific or less specific than the noun or pronoun that it renames, and is set off by commas. So if you see commas, know that that means non-essential. If there are no commas, that means it's an essential appositive. Let's take a look at some example sentences. In the first sentence, we have the word Persephone, which is identifying horse. Remember that appositives generally come after the noun or pronoun that it identifies. Now, there are no commas with Persephone, with this particular appositive, so we would say then that this is essential. Persephone is more specific than horse, so it's an essential appositive. In the second sentence, I like this one because the appositive phrase is set off by commas. My sister's newest horse, notice the commas, and my sister's newest horse is identifying the noun in front of it, Oedipus. Now this one has commas, which means that this is considered non-essential. The name Oedipus is more specific, so this is a less specific or non-essential appositive. In the third sentence, my sister names her animals after Greek mythology, her favorite subject in college. We have a comma to help us identify the appositive phrase in the sentence. Her favorite subject in college identifies mythology. Because there's a comma, this is a non-essential appositive. Mythology is more specific than just saying her favorite subject. We don't know what her favorite subject is, so mythology is more specific. In the last sentence, we have no commas, but we have the word reflection, renaming or identifying horse. There are no commas, so this one is considered essential. Reflection is more specific than the noun it identifies, horse, so we would not use commas with this one. Now, in terms of the placement of appositives, generally appositives follow the nouns and pronouns they rename. However, appositives sometimes precede those nouns or pronouns if the item that is renamed is the first word in the sentence. Now, why would those appositives sometimes appear before the noun it renames? Simply for the sake of sentence variety. We can recognize these appositives also as non-essential, and they are going to be the first item within the sentence, and they will be followed by a comma. So the appositive is the fastest swimmer on the team because of the comma. This is a non-essential appositive. It is less specific than the noun that it's identifying. Jessica is more specific. And again, normally it would say Jessica, comma, the fastest swimmer on the team, comma, has won several medals. But for the sake of sentence variety, that appositive has been moved to the beginning of the sentence. Same deal with the last sentence. The coolest teacher in the building, followed by a comma, is an appositive identifying Mrs. Morrow. Aw, you guys are so sweet. Now this one has a comma, which means that it is non-essential because the coolest teacher in the building is less specific than the name, Mrs. Morrow.